Welcome into Players League, week number 6. We've got some Madden action here for you today. I'm your host, Bearlight, as we're about to cook up some of the best STEM and video game action that you see combined into one. The first of its kind experience on the Players League happens again tonight. It'll be week 6 here, like we mentioned. Just as a refresher here as well, we want to kind of go over the regions that are competing, right? We have the 4 regions locked in, of course, as we've seen ahead of us. A lot of the action has been from the Green Bay region, but we've also got Carolina, who's been cooking as well. And then New England and Houston, the other 2 regions as well, kicking off Players League with the best, of course, the 6 of 8 regular round-robin weeks that we'll see, and all so that they can try to get to that championship, which we'll see in May. So, exciting times here on Players League, and, of course, all of this possible because of Brightspeed Fiber Internet. And the ultra-fast speeds from Brightspeed Internet are here. No more dead zones, just reliable coverage everywhere in your home. And check and see if Brightspeed Fiber Internet's available in your area by typing !Brightspeed into chat. Thank you to Brightspeed so much. Thank you for your involvement in this great opportunity for students like you put together here in the Players League. Well, listen, again, we're cooking up a lot of this Players League action from the Madden side, but we also have exciting news as the next stream for STEM portion will be announced a little bit later on. Whether it be today or on social media is something that we will let you know once again a little bit later on. Well, of course, we also have the Formula STEM Esports Cup, which is happening. It happened yesterday, actually, as we were just impressed with the regular season, how it was able to kind of kick off there. Week 1 was a banger, and so you certainly want to make sure that if you're not following already on the Twitch channel and or subscribing on YouTube, make sure that you get the job done, so that way you can come here and watch all of these amazing STEM and esports activations, watch them combine in beautiful fashion. You can register now at racing.staypluggedin.com. Again, that is racing.staypluggedin.com, as the next race will take place April 8th. And there's actually a test session going on tomorrow night. So if you want to learn the next track and get into this, the playoffs for that Esports Cup, by the way, is, it's open so that if you make the top 3, so even if you join the last week and you make a top 3, aka the podium, if you will, you still make the playoffs. So if that's not a telltale sign that you should join in, and maybe if it's even in the last week or this following week, which will be week 2 of the regular season, definitely get registered today, as $5,000 in scholarships on the line over there. And a cool thing about that activation and this activation as well is that you get to learn about STEM jobs. You get to learn about the beauty of STEM as well. So, like we mentioned, the STEM is a huge portion of this one. We got to talk to Justin Ellis just a couple of weeks ago as well through the STEM portion, so was very excited to hear all the things cooking on that front, including, these students that are learning everything there is to know about content creation, whether it be, of course, the graphics that go into it. How about the video editing that they will be doing to put together a commercial for Brightspeed Fiber Internet? Really cool activation where you get a first-hand ticket, a first-hand seat to a full-time content job at an organization. A great one like Brightspeed Fiber Internet is certainly one that you can cherish as a student. Something that I wish I had was some experience. Otherwise, on the resume, I wouldn't have to worry about, when you apply for a job, it's like, an entry level, but you need 5 years of experience. Well, at least you get a year here. So, regardless, like we mentioned, the students are now on week 6, so they've been able to put together the storyboards. They've been judged by Director of Ed 2, and I'm going to actually be joined by Hail Monkey Man to discuss the rest of the STEM portion here as Hail Monkey Man joins me. Monkey Man, how are you?
Oh my goodness, I was teleported from a mile away, but I appreciate everyone taking my tardy pass here. I'm giving it to you, Bear. I'm so sorry. I told the teacher. Yeah, I'm sorry. You may see on there that it says stopped for ice cream. That's a lie. Okay, don't believe them. All right, but hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here for Players League. Just was hearing you talk about some awesome STEM action, some Brightspeed. I feel like this is a great week to be able to jump back in again.
It's been fantastic, for sure. And again, like we mentioned, they've been all about the storyboards, got the feedback there. They're putting that into place, which means the next step of the process, they're going to be filming, which is always my favorite part, not to be behind the camera, because apparently I absolutely wreck cameras. I tend to break things. So I'm not responsible for that portion, but the students are. I like to be on camera instead. It's safer that way, Monkey Man.
You know what? That's totally fine. I used to actually rock the mockumentaries with my buddies as well. We would go out into the forest and we'd be weird, but it was always cool to be able to handle that equipment. And that's exactly, and not maybe the weird way, whatever way you want to do it, what we want to be able to encourage the kids to do. They're able to get the recordings being done for their projects. That's putting that product in place. They have to take all those awesome storyboards that we got to witness alongside the DOV and then put them into a reality, because as cool it is to draw it up, that doesn't always mean you're consistently going to have the same kind of idea that you drew down easy to accomplish right in front of you. So I like that they're getting the experience with that.
Yeah, and there's only a few spots to get to the championship event, which will happen later this month. Yeah, it's already April. Can you imagine?
Wow.
It's coming up hot, and so Green Bay is where it'll take place, just outside of Lambeau Field, which is an incredible experience, a historic landmark in the world of football. So these students will be incredibly stoked if they're able to make it that far, which, of course, you got to bring a good project at the end of the day. You got to have some skills in Madden, too, to be able to get to the finals on the esports side. We're going to get into some esports action as well, Monkey Man, in just a little bit.
That's going to be so awesome. All these players across these 4 separate regions have been looking fantastic. And of course, we've seen a lot coming out of the Green Bay region. The best news, I think, for kind of everyone is that when we go there, it's not going to be frozen solid. Look, the gridiron is great, but not when you have to fall on it at like negative 40 degrees. So love that we're, 6 weeks in now into this tough competition, and everyone looking to get themselves towards the top. It's going to be those big regional finals that I'm looking forward the most to, because you know how high stakes that'll be to try and get that one ticket from your dual region to try and make it to the finals.
Yeah, exactly. It's very cutthroat, and it's a lot of people that you know from your own personal team and the high school that's just down the road, if you will. Well, maybe they're not just down the road, but they're pretty close. They're in the same region at the very least. You have a little bit of competition there, friendly competition, that is. So it'll be a great time for the students. And of course, that punching that ticket is where it's all about. And of course, this event, of course, Brightspeed Fiber Internet part of that, but also Stay Plugged In. A big shout out to them for being a part of this too, because they are all about the opportunities that exist after your high school career is coming to a close. So whether you want to go and find a job, of course, you can join Players League right out of high school, or you can go to college and do the same thing and learn a little bit along those lines. But Stay Plugged In is the #1 place to be recruited for college esports and to land a scholarship as well. Potential scholarships are always available in esports these days. So the 450 plus colleges on the platform, you're able to message them, you're able to follow them, create your own little profile as well, and create your own little resume on Stay Plugged In with your profile too. So you can really make a name for yourself through that and the events that you've seen firsthand, Monkey.
Yeah, and there's like 400 plus separate schools that are tied to this platform as well. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, whatever you're kind of looking for. And I've seen these events like you mentioned, and they're so fun. Being able to witness it online as well as offline. One of those, I remember, throwback to what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago, you and I first met Shenandoah over in the Arsenal. That was so cool. Yep. This platform in particular, you set up your profile and you're able to get in contact with some of the toughest people to find. This makes it easy. Go over to staypluggedin.com or .gg rather, staypluggedin.gg to be able to give yourself a chance at maybe making your future just that much easier to attain.
And of course, Stay Plugged In also does it for the high school programs as well. So students are obviously taken care of in that front, but now you can create a high school account, and that's the first step in the journey. You can link your high school students to your account too, so that way colleges, if they're seeing your profile, they see all the students associated with your high school. So you're quite literally building a pipeline. That's pretty cool. And so once you create that Stay Plugged In account, then you want to go ahead and check into Emerge Apparel as well. So that way you can start to get things cooking on that front too. Of course, you want a little bit of rev share. Well, you got it through emergeapparel.gg, where you can, it's just 100% a program where all the stress fades off, right? It burns off. The burden of merchandising completely disappears because with your online storefront, I'm talking on-demand printing, I'm talking fulfillment, you never have to purchase and keep inventory with, my goodness. If you don't have a room already to try to, field an esports team, then obviously there's no extra room at the school to keep it. So why not let Emerge do that? Take it off your hands and make some proceeds in the process, Monkey Man.
Yeah, all the parents that are out there, if you've ever worked around booster clubs, if you've ever seen how difficult it is to maintain your stock, to have to deal with all that stuff, imagine having one of the most simple, most complex things originally become simplified by getting solid branding. It's fantastic designs. The designers that Emerge are so clutch. They've done it for pro teams, and it feels like it's just an easy way for everyone to make their lives a lot better. So make sure you go and check that one out as well. Emerge apparel is just it's one of a kind and in a great way, and they work with everyone. I was even in talks back in the day about when I had an esports team there about getting some extra goods with them because they have that cool of style.
Yeah, it's 100%. It looks really cool, especially if you're going to be attending a LAN like Shenandoah, for example. Yeah. You look great doing it through emergeapparel.gg. Again, that's emergeapparel.gg. And once you're looking good, you're feeling good, you have that extra proceeds, you can put it into a new lab from Stay Plugged In. Show me. Ooh. Show me. That's actually a middle school that we've done recently. It hit the news. Annie Fisher Middle School, like I mentioned, gyms as well. So these are your esports room built by Stay Plugged In specifically. And it's incredible the amount of dedication you'll see from the students whenever they have a room like this, right? The attendance increases like crazy because students want to be there. Their work improves because you can set standards like, if your grades aren't up, forget about it. You're not going to be in this room.
Look, if there's ever anything that I dealt with when it came to traditional sports, it's about being able to dress out. You get to go to your field and you get to be able to go to work. This is the same thing when it comes to esports. You get to have your jerseys. You get to go to your awesome LED lit, very clean, very effective, awesome place of work, and very much execute with whatever game that you're going to be representing your school in a big way. Your friends will be there. It's a fantastic incentive for teachers, for faculty, for administration, and of course for the students that will be utilizing it to be able to find success. And you know what? It's proof in the pudding. It gets people to want to go to school even more than just the academics and the traditional sports that are there, and it allows everyone to be happy while they're there doing what they were going to do anyway.
Yeah, and in traditional sports, and since you brought it up, the home and aways that you have in traditional sports, you can actually start to do that when you build a community, right? When you have schools that are around you that are also involved in esports, you create a room with, let's say, 10 computers. Well, I guess Marvel Rivals is out, so 12 computers, 6v6. Then 100% you can compete there within your own room and invite teams in. We've seen it firsthand, and it's super cool. Well, we also have just announced summer camps as well, Monkey Man. So, of course, if you want some commentary work, right, if you want to learn how to cast, well, I could be a representative. Honestly, you could be better than me, but listen. But flexible learning models, number one. We can teach the teacher, if you will. So if you want an instructor to be in-house, you totally can. Or we can do online summer camps, too, where I'll teach online, not just me exclusively, but an entire team to teach you things like, we've got aviation, AI. That's just the start, the beginning. As you see there, we use games that they love too, right? Like Rocket League, and my goodness, I could not get students off of Fortnite. I don't know what it is, but they just absolutely love it, and that gets them in the door.
I've also experienced a lot of people that still love Roblox, by the way. Mm-hmm. That has had a holding pattern for such a long time, but you also see the way that you can get just so many people want to be able to get into it. We've seen it for Boys and Girls Clubs, for colleges, for design from schools, and so it serves so many people, and not just the immediate community, but more expansive community. And national expansion apparently is also happening for the programs that are already active in many places, like the NC Summer Summit in Winston-Salem. Yep. I've been up there, and it's actually awesome. New York, look, if you can get all that happening, there's places that you don't know of that have amazing esports communities that are actually insanely tight-knit. Having these kinds of summer programs definitely builds that up even more.
And their excitement to go back to school into their new esports room, like with those summer camps, like we just came out of the esports room, and now I get to Yeah, think about like an 8th grader rising to 9th grade, and it's like, I get to attend that now. That's really cool and a unique experience for sure. So again, all of that possible by Stay Plugged In. So staypluggedin.com is where you want to go. We've got standings, Monkey Man, for the first time. Let's check them out right now, starting with the Houston region here, as we got Say Presto and Davo at the top with 2-1. But actually, it's Trig up top with 2-0 currently on that side for Stafford High School. And then for Woodlands Christian High School, they're performing well too.
Yeah, they are. You got Gabe Zert to, I guess, that kind of depends on, if you played all your 4, if you got your undefeateds, whichever, but they're 3-1. You got Sully and Painter that are actually tied at 3-0. And as we talk about these regions, that they're getting each of their high schoolers and all of their players, 4 Players League, pushed up to the top, it becomes such a necessary conversation as to how deep you've gone into your season and how well you're playing, because you might be a representative for your high school to go into the entirety of the region and playing for those huge playoffs to try and get to the finals.
Let's check out the next region as well and see what we've got cooking up here, because I know we've got Green Bay, we've got Carolina as well, which we'll go to next year. 2 at 3-0 on the T Winged side. We've been talking them up, and they have not disappointed us by any means.
I can tell that, wow, okay, so Hex, obviously, we've seen them play over the course of so many weeks.
Yep.
And then Abo Vico, I'm curious. We have 2 undefeated players, and it is kind of, we get to play NFL Red Zone, see how these guys play. It's rare to not see one that especially has been undefeated in that capacity, and I want to know how they go down. There's a lot of players on the side of Woodlands Christian. Has the DFE been just taking names and heads? What is going on?
We're about to see some more DFE tonight, by the way. So,
man.
Yeah, we'll see if that trend continues. As, yeah, a lot of offers there on the other side. But they have a unique chance to go up against D Winged, and you got to earn it, I suppose, at the end of the day. So there's the Green Bay region, too, which we've seen a lot of. You probably recognize a lot of these names. Look at Green Bay Southwest High School.
Woo. Goodness gracious! All right, the DFE's got his work cut out. He's going to form like a training art along King mode, because so does Bayport High. They've got Tux Bear to rely on as their representative.
Yep.
Whereas Cheese and Munch and Flame Dude, we've seen them find success, but just hasn't been for the long term. Green Bay though. That top 4 is mixed scary. Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. Literally 3 undefeated, and 2 of them at 4-0, by the way. And Go Sire has played through 5 weeks and has only dropped 1 himself. I mean, that's absolutely unheard of. And yeah, Tux Bear has been great at that 3-2 level for Bayport High School. Cheese, the story has always been that they're so close to being able to turn this season around, but it just hasn't gone their way at all. You got to figure that fortune's going to turn around at some point.
I hope so. I want Cheese to get like most improved. It's like you want to give him a ribbon, you want to give him a trophy, and you're like, come on, you've done such great work. Please have something. And maybe I'm too soft on people nowadays, but I think that they deserve a lot of accolade for how hard they fight through all their matches. And we're gonna have another one that's gonna be coming up tonight. And we're sliding very swiftly towards the end of this Players League season. I already see the finals. It's like 3 weeks away and some change. Wow, it's quickly coming.
It is quickly approaching. There's no doubt about it. And so is the 6 o'clock block. Hello. Let's bring up our featured matchup. We only have one matchup here tonight that we're going to feature on this stream. That's it. So embrace this. Feel it. As Davo. 100% Davo. Facing off with Director of Ed here tonight from the Houston region. We had to give Houston some love, and so Monkey Man will be featuring this one specifically as Davo comes in at a 2-1 mark. So again, for the Houston region, extremely well played. That Director of Ed saying 1-1. I'm not sure how accurate that is.
I think that we were like, oh, we saw lenient, the one. Yeah, he tried putting up a fight against King Mode the last time around.
Yeah.
Davo has their work cut out for them. However, they did at least keep one player to 0 points. Director of Ed, good old Mr. Purple, good old Super Smash Gang, good old Mr. Madden himself. Let's see if they'll be able to take this fight, because I feel like Davo's going to put him through his paces.
3 games played, 47 points on the board, and 41 is the point differential, meaning that they only gave up 6 points. Is that math? Potentially
yes.
Point differential, though, plus 41. Yeah, so that means that they only put up 6 against Davo. That's incredible. Their defense must be outstanding. So you know what? Let's go ahead and launch it to the mainframe, quote unquote, but not really. It's actually just the featured match here as we go in now. It'll be Davo in the Baltimore Ravens, of course, because you already know that Director of Ed is a Eagles fan, and after that Super Bowl, nobody's buzzing harder than he is to go back to that team here.
Go Birds. That's what he's saying. Just go Birds. All right. What do you think like is his maybe not his foil, that had to be the Chiefs. What do you think would be the worst team that our good old D of E could play but still win with? What do you think?
The worst
Raiders
team that he could play with? So
that
like
he
if
could play
outside the
with and
Eagles,
win.
Okay. That's tough. That's a tough one. Oh, man, because I was going to say Raiders, but they don't have Josh Jacobs anymore, so I don't think that would be possible. Man, I've got to go the Bears. I think the Bears are a good option there, too, you know, with Caleb Williams.
They were okay for a bit until they weren't. Down in distance already. A quick interception as they may walk this one in. They're going to get... What? Henry got stood up. What?
By Slay. Darius Slay. What? It's like the truck stick, and I'm not sure what happened to the King, but King Henry fell early. So Davo, with that early turnover, you got to learn at some point, and there's no better way to learn than to literally go up against the teacher, who certainly put it on a clinic defensively early. We talked about how Davo's defense has been stellar, but they got to find some offense too and protect the ball.
The professor of picks is able to get one that goes real close. We're going to be in red zone territory and trying to redirect the flow of traffic. That goes straight into some waiting arms of defenders. Only a 1 yard gain.
Yeah, not much room there. Tracking, they tried to go against the grain and thought maybe some open space was there, but the Ravens defense, we rave about them pretty frequently because of their speed. They were able to match it. It'll be 2nd and 9 here for the 14. Back is Hurts trying to drop it off. Far side, almost a user pick, but also almost some danger after you missed it. It's out to Barkley there for just a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd and 3.
I don't mind trying to jump the route there. You still have the leniency. You had someone covering over the top on that outside zone as your strong safety was trying to be able to go with you. And you know what? Go for the goal. Try to be able to swing. 3rd and 3. Still another first down can be picked up. They may have even give it to Saquon just to be able to finish this one off and get themselves a set of downs. It could also be a score. They drop it into traffic. That one will fall short, but they got a fresh 10.
Yeah, it'll be 1st and goal from the 1, so lots of chances to power this one home as the Eagles and the creator of the tush push. You imagine that a similar play might be coming, or just give it to Barkley. You have so many options these days. It will be to Barkley. It will be a touchdown. Director of Ed will be up 6-0.
You know, whenever I watch the Eagles throughout the season, it didn't feel like they were at the same level the entire time. They just kept going upwards, especially just people said it was almost unfair how strong their front was. I'm like, you do know you're in the NFL, right? Like, what do you mean? Just get strong, forehead, and also try to deal with this run. Hurts just does what he always does, uses his feet, turns it into 8. Why is he shaking his head? He was the Eagles coach. What?
He was disappointed with that celebration. I think that's what it was. There's no other explanation to what was going on there. Well, now a chance to reemerge here after a lackluster first possession. There's a lot of room on that left side, too. And I've yet to see a return for a touchdown.
That's tough.
Yeah, on Madden. These days, it is honestly, like, dang near impossible.
Yeah, even when you have that the modified kickoff that they brought into that big kind of box overall. So, but they decided to keep this one on the ground. Instead of setting up for a long distance pass, they bring it directly into the arms of Henry. But here's the thing is that in the old DV, Justin knows exactly how to stuff the box. He's going to squeeze those A and B gaps very, very tight. So I'm not surprised at all to see the first one go for a loss.
2nd and 11. From the 28. It'll be Lamar Jackson back. Try to create some space with his legs. You saw Director of E try to get it, but they'll air it out. It's down the field, but they did bail off of that one. Took over as the user and just kind of dropped off of that. I don't think they liked the look, and they knew the defenders would be pulled, I guess. Either way, it's incomplete in 3rd and 11.
When you're trying to head fake the CPU, that's actually I'm not that level of AI person, so And look, they know better than I. Trying to, oh, the run fake. It was picked up so swiftly. You're going to have another one drop down, and I feel like this one's got to be a punt. No, we're going to be going for it all day. What am I thinking? Just go straight up when it's 4th and 17.
Let's see it. Opportunity to shine. But also very dangerous here because it could get out of hand real quick if you're not able to convert. A very difficult play to convert from. Lamar Jackson backs, got space. We'll try to air it out, but it's going to be intercepted as well. And a chance for them to return it, but they'll be taken down here. Director of Ed going right back to work from what we've seen so many weeks now. That's 2 interceptions in the first quarter alone.
Let's see. We got to the 28. It was a loss of 7, 21. 20-yard punt. All right. That's what that turns into. So at least separating yourself from your from back to end zone to get some space. It's not like they can't get a turnover much the same way. And Saquon got drilled. Oh, yeah, telling them be quiet and go back and take a nap. 2nd and 12.
They read that like a book. Now the Eagles coaching staff can shake their heads because that was appropriate after the loss of 2 here. Jalen Hurts back down. That pressure is getting to him because it was a screen play. So they opened up some space, but there was none. It collapsed real quickly.
Yeah, look, when you run screenplays, it has to be a kind of with a complete decoy given up. They did at least get 2 rushers to be able to go directly into Hurts, but so far it's only been hurting on Saquon as he's targeted him twice trying to get behind the big boys. You're going to have trips out left to try and spread this one open, and I still would not be surprised if we get a run. Dropping back, working the pocket. This one's going to go deep, trying to get a user pick, and Washington will be on the better side of it. They don't get much of a return, but they do keep this one from being any kind of points.
Yeah, that was absolutely dynamic, huge. And now your defense has been great all year long based on the point differential. Of course, we don't know the strength of matchups or who they've been up against, at least not in front of us, but it's been so far so good. So to not see that extra 6 on the board certainly feels good. 1st and 10 from their own 18. Lamar Jackson out right, but nobody where to go with the football. Everybody locked down, and with the pressure cooking, you just got to get rid of it, and he did.
Yeah, that's also just a great understanding by Justin, knowing that he has the speed, the wheels to be able to kind of run out into those flat plays. Going to drop back. You've got Henry right in front of you, and this time they will commit to the run. That's going to be a nice gain to get to 3rd and 3. And with the way that we already saw them go for 4th and 17 earlier, seems like it's manageable if you want to treat this all like 4 down territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. 3rd and 3 here, and really the first gain of the game, it seems like, for Davo here too, getting pressure, got rid of it just in time. Still gonna be difficult. Yeah, it was 4th down territory, and that's where we land here with the 4th and 3. So you know that they're probably gonna go for it, but what play do they draw up here?
I mean, you got twins tight on both sides. You got Henry all the way out right. They will commit to just cutting the corner. Fumble! Ooh, that one. That's the danger zone right there when you let your QB stay up too long.
I do like the fact that they took off like downfield. They cut to get extra yards, but then you got to tuck out of bounds before that hit occurs. Otherwise, you do run that risk on Madden. So either way, no harm done. So now rolling out to the right. He's being chased down, able to break out 1. Now we'll launch it, and they've got 1. They blew the whistle early, though. Did he step out of bounds?
Well, it says 2nd and 10, and that he didn't have a loss, and they didn't shift the hash. So I think he did chuck it just in the hit dirt. All the CPUs basically didn't want to go and toe tap, so they're like, all right, we're just gonna let that one fall. Ain't no one paid extra here. Jackson got another chance, consistently kind of bootlegging around. They're gonna give it over to Ricard. Oh, what a move! Love seeing that. They can't quite take on the next couple of defenders, but a great first set of downs.
Boom, that's what you needed. You needed a little bit of momentum here, and you got it. After that big turnover, you want to make good use of it. And they come out, they get a few plays back to back to back where you're gaining yards, you're getting it up the field, and now a 1st and 10 from the 48 as well. Back in the shoddy. Looking around, no real targets except for Bateman outright, and it's going to be picked off. Oh, no. The only good news is that field position will be decent, but that decision, unfortunately, the 1v1 did not work out.
Yeah, this is becoming at least all right. Every time I get picked off, it's a nice punt. It keeps my opponent away. They're going to be at the 19, and unfortunately, that does take a lot of the wind out of the sail of what was looking like a solid campaign. They go with one fake out, and they will take on Saquon. He gets a gain of 6, and oh man, some of those decisions. It feels like. If you are looking for a chance to score, you're just forcing that a little bit too soon on those longer passes. So Justin's going to go back to work with this short second down.
I like that they were able to stack 3 where Barkley was headed in that moment. So, like, everybody kind of dove in. You have to make sure that Barkley doesn't get space, or if he's going to make a move, that you have somebody right next to you. It's all about gang tackling. And right now, well, you didn't need help there in the 1v1, able to make it great. What could be considered an open field tackle because it was just that 1v1 situation.
I mean, the gap was wide enough from the tackle to, I think it was either a pulling tight end or otherwise, that I would agree, because I was going to call that a tackle in open space, because Saquon can make even the most narrow door look like it is a field wide with the way he can move around. So our first quarter will come to a close. 8-0 for the old D of E, but Davo has made things a little bit more promising now that I think he's recognized the speed at which Justin is actually wanting to get around this field on.
For sure, and the run game has been a big part of DV's book, because everybody is so concerned about guarding the pass, especially in Madden at the high school level. People tend to pass the ball a lot, so he's trying to catch him snoozing. But I think Davo's done a good job to really recognize that and go a different path and be able to guard that. But now it's a passing play. Now you got to try to get after him. But Hurts has plenty of space and runs it out of bounds, just like we said that you need to. So the director of Ed trying to lead by example, and we'll get the first down.
Teaching them how to go and get the new set of sticks and move on with your life. So they will make that one frustrating but simple. Hand off over to Saquon. They will stretch this one wide, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter how many guys you got lined up in front of him. Nice cut to go back up into space, and he will make it nearly 10 straight off the rip.
Yep, 2nd and inches now. Not a whole lot of space to get to. So here's where I like to see some pressure, right? Because it's either going to be a run play here, and that's why you got to be wary, though, because it might be a screen play because of it. But it's not. There's still open space out to the right side, so there'll be a dump off, but Barkley stopped running. Very reminiscent of that one game. I think, was it last year? I think it was last year early in the season where it was like a 4th down play, and Saquon Barkley just, like, dropped it when they had the lead down the field.
Oh. Yep.
Yep. So it looked like that a little bit, the way he built off of it.
But that's also the kind of play that I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of out of Davo when he gets a chance to go into offense, because we've seen some soft hand movement off of people that are playing a lot with Henry and the Ravens. That's going to be an easy pickup. We knew that off of inches this was kind of an inevitability. It's about how much you trap them to commit to some of these short plays, maybe open up things over the top. So shifting sides, you got kind of a power form of Barkley has a chance to get some more blockers, and there's just something magical, be it a player, be it himself, about the way he can just find these little gaps that get some big gains.
Yeah, I mean, user movements can really go a long way, but when you have that player that's just capable of it and it extends that type of play, that's why you see him go back to it over and over again. A great tiptoe through space, wide open. Saquon Barkley to the house. It'll be 14-0 now as Director of E on the board again.
Goodness gracious. It always feels like it's just a moment away from happening. Just ripping off a huge one. 15 about to be on the board with the PAT, and it is good. So if you get that coverage, just not ready for a big breakout, especially speedy run out of Saquon, you're just going to let a gap form, and great work out of him. So Davo too crazy. It's got some work to be done. They're going to try and go and have this one be wide. Oh, my goodness. That was actually the closest we've seen to being a breakout from a kickoff.
Yeah, it was. And where's Aguilar here? Where I would actually utilize him. Like, he's got that speed. I want to see him, at least where he shines. But it's obviously the game that dictates that. You can maybe change it. He's got one open, though, on the far side. That is Aguilar, but it's going to be defended well. Right on cue there, Monkey.
Yeah, they heard you talking. Look, I cannot wait for the day you meet Aguilar. You're gonna be shaking hands like, "Hey, man, look, why are your stats not good?" And be like, "What? Why aren't you doing more? My team's not doing too hot with you. Come on.
Why are you fantasy relevant?"
day. Fake the handoff. Oh, my goodness. He's open as heck. Trying to be able to make a move as a big man. And he gets over onto the 39. We're in Eagles territory now.
Yes, sir. Mark Andrews, big name for multiple years and still making good use of those hands for a large gain. Here's Lamar Jackson back out, lots of space, again outright. In fact, he used Bateman as a little bit of a blocker there to gain about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
You can definitely see that Davo wants to basically pull this down and run much more quickly than keeping options open, but he's going to get kind of called out on that a time or two. That read eventually is going to happen by DOV if he has it happen too many times. That one, just a gun slung wide, and he's got to be thanking his lucky stars because that would have been a pick.
Quite literally in the hands of the defenders, just happened to be out of bounds. So we'll play 3rd and 3 from the 32. Back of the shotty again, no real surprise. And leaving some space open, though. Look at Smith Jr. going to try to bail around it. What? Jackson's going to bail instead? Had space on it, going to throw it away. It'll be 4th and 3. In a circus of a play there on 3rd down.
900 IQ play, keeping it alive, knowing that you're fast, but not fast enough to deal with 3 attackers trying to be able to get you. So as the defense was starting to swarm, he's like, you know what? I think I'm outside the pocket. Let me chuck this. Oh, and a false start. That turns 4th and 3 to 8.
Oh, Andrews, man. Frustrating times for Ravens fans, for Mark Andrew and the way that they went out. But listen, you don't like to see it, especially when it's like nothing that you can control. Obviously, you can do the hard count, which will maybe draw them off sides, or at least give you that penalty. But either way, it'll be 4th and 8, which is way less manageable, unfortunately. But what can they do here? 4th and 8, still on the right side of the field at the very least. It'll be Jackson right back out again. We'll try to find him on the out routes, on the far post, the corner route rather, but nothing doing. Shut down again. Director V back in charge.
All of these plays look like so far Davo's trying to turn what is just a kind of a regular moment into a home run swing. 4th and 8 a little bit to that degree. They've been tracking down these short plays as well when they have to get these deeper handoffs to Saquon. So it's not like they're not getting penetration and kind of staggering the initial start, but got to see this also kind of turn into better offenses. But their defense has been showing up. They just can't let the big play happen.
And that's what we've been talking about. And that's why I would like to see the punts, too. When you get that 4th and 17 earlier, it would have been just a 1-possession game instead, maybe, like if your defense was able to hold. So you can rely on your defense when you have and you're confident in it. But it's hard to trust your defense when you have a Saquon Barkley across the way who's been, he's got to be past 150 total yards already in the first half.
Yeah, but that's typical Saquon things. You have to limit him to sub 100. Or at minimum, your offense has to be able to match. Did come up short. So with this kind of offense, I don't doubt that they're going to get some level of first down. But this defense has been showing up and forcing losses for a couple of these runs. It depends on how heavily you think that's going to happen. They do have a couple bunch sets with your tight end off to the right, and you have basically twins on either side with them. That one eventually will be a pass. Hurts is going to be that option. Do you play spy? There's just no one fast enough to have to deal with this guy, and it's systematic. 2-minute warning comes up. Still 15-0 as we're about to end the first half in a little bit.
Yep, for 15-0 and driving, as Director V has had no trouble just getting 5-10 yards. And then whenever you let your guard down, Barkley's been able to take it to the house. Here's another screen with blockers out in front. They do a good job to manage what could have been a big play and just managed to shut the door down at 5 yards.
All right, so putting that one out into open space, you know that's going to be keyed up a lot, especially with the way Saquon is just so versatile, be it for a handoff or for a little kind of chip and run. Going to quickly get under center. They're going to shift around that line. They want to keep that one wider depending on if this gets handed off and trying to dagger maybe to that outside tackle gap. That's exactly where it's going to, and I like the shift. However, they found the gap, and that is one that's formed. It's a mile wide. You can fit the entire state of Texas through that.
Yeah, it was massive, and just no hesitation attitude either. Certainly makes that a lot stronger of an asset. That's why the vision's very good. You can kind of see things developing, and if you're able to feel that out, you're great. But sometimes you don't have anywhere to run, because that was just a great job to punch past that first line of blockers there. For a loss of 2, maybe a little bit of positivity that they can bring into the next play. So I do like where their head's at to at least continue to build some pressure here as we look at the 2nd and 12.
You saw one timeout burned from Davo, and they kind of know that they got to let this clock run or else they're going to give too many chances here to Justin to try and get this one going into maybe another score, maybe even a field goal if they can. They shift the line. They bring one in as a slot receiver. They're going to give it over to Saquon, trying to bait him out, but it is such a disciplined line from this Ravens group. A timeout will be called by Davo. He's feeling confident that he can stop this in 3 and maybe force him to make a decision.
Yeah, and he knows director of that is with the lead, and if they do make a stop here for 4th down, they'll have that one timeout to burn, and then maybe a field goal attempt if they're feeling it, which is very tough in the game of Madden to hit from this level. So I do like the position that he's in currently, so I do like that timeout, but only if director of that is not able to make the line to gain here at the 40-yard line is where he starts. So all the way down to the 29 is what he's looking for. Down 3rd and 11.
Ooh.
It is Hurts outright intercepted by Wiggins. And Davo certainly needed this. 30 seconds left in the half and still a timeout in his pocket as well.
That's huge. Being able to keep that one timeout could be a game-turning moment. You've got 30 seconds in this first half. You've got the ability to go get a bit of gunslinging happening. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. However, you got a long field to go, and this is probably about as good or standard of where you've been starting for the most part. This is going to be a chuck-up field. It is basically a jump ball. They do get out of bounds. It only took about 6 seconds.
Yeah, and I was looking at the line of scrimmage, too, because he was getting cloose to that mark, but apparently stayed behind it just enough. Remember, your full body has to cross before that penalty is issued, so that was great. Lob pass, too, which can be dangerous, but you knew you only had one to beat, and you had to get it over that defender. Well played. Here's 1st and 10. 24 seconds left on the game clock, for the half, rather. And now just kind of thinking over their options here. The play clock at 15. They're going to think about it a little bit more, but not any more than this. Has lots of time until you don't. And unfortunately, there's a lot of room out left that you had to kind of build to. Did not get there. They'll have to burn that timeout.
Big guy just swarmed through what was, I think, a double up between the guard and the tackle. It did not matter. Strength exists on both sides of the line for the Eagles. Sweat and stand-up always makes me scared, and that player control means he's going to be dropping them into mid-coverage. Trying to be able to swing out Jackson. He's going to throw this over the top. This time around, there is time, and unfortunately, that means the same thing for the defense. They will stop him from returning it. 10 seconds to go, and that'll pretty much assure the half for at least for Director of Education. Davo, I understand the pressure, but he's kind of going for the same home run swing. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time now.
Yeah, and especially in a situation, and, you know, we saw just a couple minutes ago where Davo was trying to attempt to use the legs of Lamar Jackson in spots where maybe it wasn't advised. In that moment, you had wide open space. And if you get down the field, yes, it's going to burn a little bit of clock, but you at least have one opportunity that's more manageable than that. So that just comes with time and decision-making here, too. And Director of Ed's not going to make it easy as well. Wants a little bit more, looking out for blood and more points here with 4 seconds left or within field goal range.
He was so sure that he was getting tackled that he just basically sticked his or his player to be able to go out left and got out of bounds. There was actually a big chance for them to rip off even more yardage up that sideline, but they wanted to preserve as much of this clock as they could. Still had a timeout. Doesn't matter. Looks like the leg is going to be coming through, and that one doesn't have the distance. It is no good underneath the crossbars, so Davo has got to be sweating, but it doesn't become 3 points worse for him.
Yeah, because then you have Director of Ed who's going to receive after the second half. So that means, you know, it would have been even worse to see that go up to 18-0 and then have to deal with it, where a field goal would be the only requirements to put them up 3 scores. But now instead, we see Director of Ed on the reception to kick off this second half and try to put even more points on. And I'd just like to see a little bit more conservative maybe action, you could put it, from Davo when they get the ball back. But first things first, you got to stop Saquon.
I've done that a time or two. He's ripped off a couple that have been detrimental, and it's not impossible for them to be able to get this one. Trying to be able to track him down. Oh, you get the arm tackle. That one will still result in a 1st and 10 the other way. That's See, look, bury that face mask, be able to get all up on him. I say that, but Barkley is a tough dude to get regardless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why you got a gang tackle or nothing. And right now, they do have a good look, and they are able to get him behind the line of scrimmage here. So it'll be 2nd and 11 instead. And it seems like a back-and-forth effort, right? You find a way to shut down Saquon for one play, but then he comes right back out. But it'll be 2nd and 11 here from the 36, lined up. This time behind center, they've got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. They've got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown out wide. It'll be 2 Saquon, lots of room, but fumbled on the ground, turnover as they trucked into him, the hit stick. And Saquon doesn't give up a lot, but he does here.
Brother became a fly on a bus and got plastered and then windswept out of the way. Wow, that thing popped out so quick, and that's a massive chance for Davo to find some points very early, considering the differential we've had over the course of this game. They need to get some points very, very soon. Being on the plus side of the field to start this one off as well here, Bear, this is huge.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're going into the second half, and maybe he made some mistakes where he tried to just take the home run shot a little bit too frequently. So now maybe you're trying to make better decisions, and that one will sneak through a very small window to Nelson Aguilar for a first down at the 21.
Camel through the eye of a needle, and yet it made it through triple coverage. That one worked out. They're going to have twins out left. There's a lot of options. They have it squeezed to the right side of the line, and then they have some spread that's going left. It's going to end up being just a flat run. We have not seen Henry weaponized, but when he's finally out in free space, the man is good for 6. And finally, Davo will break that goose egg.
Oh, he had the secret weapon in his back pocket the whole time and didn't let the director of ed have any idea that it was going to be the case. You love to see that play. A little bit of adaptation from them, and yes, when you get King Henry working, just like in real life, the second half is when he really does his work, because then they're all worn down from the rest of the game, and then you have the best available possible outcome, which is being able to convert on that 2-point conversion, which will bring them back within 7.
That's huge. All right. Suddenly we got a ball game. DFE is like, all right, you know what? Students starting to learn. They turned in their paper maybe only an hour late this time. We'll see how this one goes here for Davo, as Gainwell is just trying to run it straight up the gut. They'll approach, I think, around that 30-31. So DFE going to reset, restart, and get a new set going into this this second half.
I like the playbook that Director of Ed has, the longest developing wheel route that I think I've seen from one side to another. I don't know if you saw it, but either way.
It was huge. Oh my
Saquon.
gosh.
Oh man. He took it personally, the fumble, the truck stick that hit him last time, the hit stick rather, that hit him last time, because he was on a mission, able to break 2 tackles and a gain of 13.
Hands of glass, but shoulders of steel. Able to take any kind of hit, but you truck them just the right way, and then pinkies will shatter trying to keep that pigskin in line. They're going to hand it off from deep over to Saquon. They try to take on so much as everyone gets lined up against a nice blocker, and that's another huge gain off of first down.
Yeah, start again piecing together these. It's between 5 and 10 yards, just nickel and diming down the field, and finding great ways to utilize Saquon, who you got to imagine his X factor is actually active here, so that's the last thing you want to see, because he can do things like that, which is be a magician and get out of that peculiar situation in a first down.
I need to see the human hurdles process happen. Someone give me the 360 no scope back over the flipperooski. That is that may happen very, very soon. They're trying to just give it to Saquon, give it to Saquon, give it to Saquon, and that's just the playbook right now. They will swarm tackle him, and he's become a miniature titan. This time around, they finally stop him for short, but I'm afraid of the conditioning that we're getting here, Bear. With all the focus on Saquon, something's going to open up.
Yeah, that's my thought as well. You bring somebody into the box now, and you see them kind of cheating up. And, yeah, sure enough, right into that pocket, but they're still going to feed Saquon nonetheless. And maybe a little bit of conditioning as they continue to go back for it. So 3rd and 5 will be the call. Still not a bad position, though, at the 33-yard line. I don't hate this at all. Davo's done a great job to keep this game close when it could have very well easily gotten out of hand.
Yeah, this is a dangerous medium space situation, especially just before the 30-yard line. I would be playing kind of into a neutral tactic. Yep, because they're going to be going for a pass. They do have someone trying to pick him up from around the outside pocket, but it does go into double coverage. He's finding his man for it. Smith will still come up huge. That's going to be a big takeaway, and they nearly get back to midfield completely with it. What a way to shut down the steam rolling.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Here comes Davo. As that interception in a one-possession game, and suddenly you're within striking distance with just 1:42 left on the clock in the third. And now an opportunity to really strike, but you got to be wise with the ball. The turnovers cannot happen. Somehow able to outrun them, and wide open to Aguilar. Got the ball down inside the 15 to the 13.
A long developing escape from the pocket, and when coverage breaks down, as long as you can get away, there might be a chance that suddenly someone's open. Aguilar is his name, and he's finally able to make massive impact, a huge bucket downtown. And they're within what? They have a chance to get another set of downs if they want to, but they're within the red zone now. You got to tie up this game.
Yeah, 100%. And I was saying, hey, don't take the home run shot, but he went for it anyways. And Jackson out to the right side, looking to beat them to it, but the speed, able to chase them down from Slay, I believe. Yeah, sure enough. No, Smith Jr. was able to chase them down. So still a lot of speed no matter which direction you try to approach. And the defense doing just enough to keep them out, but it'll be 2nd and 5.
Closer you get to the red zone, the tougher it is to score. So many bodies, so much distance. Oh, Henry ends up, if he had gone to the right side of that block, might have been able to cut the A gap and get some extra push. Instead, that'll be a loss of 2. Still got 2 big chances to maybe even get a first down here. Think if you could spread this one out. I don't know. You cut up the gut, you work your way to the flats. Where are you going?
Man, I think you go right out to a corner route, and maybe they go up the middle instead. It'll be Bateman. Ooh. They saw them tracking there on the corner route. So instead, we'll take their chances over the middle, which is very dangerous the closer you get in. But again, it'll be 4th and 2. One opportunity to try to push it in. And they'll roll out right. They got space. They'll try to make use of it. They do. Jackson gets in. Davo able to pull it back within 1.
1 PAT away from being tied up in this game where the D of E has put so many students to sleep, both in the hold as well as in the classroom. He's got himself a very active youngster having to deal with them. 30 points scored. This one all tied up as we are 25 seconds away from ending this third quarter. Bear, King Mo's shaking his head. He's like, what did I teach you, Teach? What's happened?
Well, maybe he just broke some of that confidence instead. But look at that space. Gainwell. Well gained. They make plenty of space to the 38 here. And now Director V will have great field position to come out here and try to strike back. But, I mean, that's going to be a lot of points straight here. 15 points straight. And now Director V's trying to answer. Oh, that ball was in the air. The defense almost had it.
Had that defensive lineman any aptitude for a floating ball, for one that is knocked out, maybe we'd see some hijinks, some antics. That's a screenplay, and that's so well designed. Everyone picked up. They're going to try and swoop in and push him out of bounds, but not before a huge gain was just ripped off.
Another Barkley utilization here, this time through the air. Just a dump off. There's so much space to work with there. We'll make it 1st and 10 on the 45. As we approach the end of the third quarter. Doesn't need to run the play if they don't want to. But you have to kind of think in your mind how many possessions you have left here. And sure enough, they're going to let this go down. Fourth quarter comes even at 15 apiece as Davo has completed the comeback, at least for now. And now is trying to hold off the Director V.
And this could be one of those games where we actually see it decided by a field goal. That'd be kind of crazy. You do have the X Factor online there for their that middle of the field, and they're going to try and come back to him. Smith is going to get picked up, but not before he gets another first down. So again, clock management becomes huge. DFE knows he has a lot of time before that really comes to matter, and so he's going to start gashing these marks. And I mean, he's got a lot of weapons to work with. It's really neat to see all the X Factors starting to come online as well, as both teams are really rising to the occasion.
Yeah, I think Director of Ed's perfect case scenario would be actually scoring in the next 30 seconds or so, because then you kind of play the game of, I might get possession back, but you have to bail out, as there was 3 members of the Ravens right in your face, and able to get past a couple, but not all 3.
chucked a shoulder straight into his body. I swore that was going to be at least maybe another truck and a bump to get that ball out, or maybe even a huge loss. Instead, they recovered, got back to the line of scrimmage. So for all the speed that was, go right back to where we started. Trips out right. That means we got a lot of passing to do, trying to get into some of this coverage, and still actually made a substantial gain as they got sandwiched between a couple defenders.
Yeah, and went down a little bit limp. I'm not sure if that's, I don't think it was an injury though, but did not look great. Monty Smith is one of the smaller wide receivers in the league for sure. So whenever you see a big hit, you'll wonder. That'll be up the middle to Gainwell, used as a fullback in that situation, which was weird, and they didn't gain much. So it'll be 4th and 3. You don't see Director of Education really make decisions like that one that seemed interesting. They'll try to settle for 3.
Does he go for the fake? Is this okay? It's real. Okay, all right. From distance, from the 27, and that one is going to be good to go. So he does get 3 on the board. And you got to think that's some respect right there, knowing that your opponent and Justin Ellis has had pretty successful campaigns against in other games, really been showing the students what's up. You force them to have to go for a safe situation of taking a field goal. I'd say that's going to give you some confidence.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, oh, well, you really have seen what my defense has done. Like, I haven't been able to get points at all, so that's why Director of Ed took the 3. I certainly don't blame him. I think it's a great decision because now you have the lead. You're forcing their hand. But at the end of the day, you could have had more. Director of EA is usually able to beyond this. Derrick Henry with space. Cut out the left side instead of through the right, or they could have had a lot more, but you take the first down nonetheless.
You know what? I don't dislike the idea of cutting left because he was trying to go behind the defender and basically use everyone as a proper pylon. But yeah, could have just kind of gone for the biscuit. Oh my goodness! I don't know if they knew which target that was intended to be. They cut all the way across their body. They're lucky that fell to the shins.
No. That was dangerous. Certainly want that one back. That'll be the hit and read, though, and not able to truck one. A great job one-on-one against a Yeti, if you will. And we're able to somehow wrestle him down, so it'll be 3rd and 12 instead. And so now the 3 on the board. If they're able to make this stop as Director of Ed, then certainly the 3 will do the trick. But can they get it done? Jackson out left, space to work with, and you saw them kind of tracking down as the defender. They will make the tackle, but not before it's 4th and 3.
Yeah, you saw Sweat. I mean, that's the player controlled right now by good old DOV. But they also had that cornerback. They were just basically stuck on an island against kind of a 0 that was on, I think it was like a 5 or 10 yard route. So they just kind of stayed there. This is a pretty substantial position. They're right in the middle of the field. They go for the play fake. They toss it over to Rickard, and they have a chance trying to make that move. It's long, but the big man will be able to give them some more time and another first down.
That's not who I'm personally trusting to get a catch on 4th and 3, but you made it. And so now it'll be 1st and 10 for the 34. Jackson out left. Looking, space is running thin, and it was a big tackler out there, so maybe a little bit of nervous, but they're able to gain 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I think we've seen at least 2 or 3 targets onto their fullback this time around. That's actually been kind of crazy with Patrick Rickard. Just kind of been nuts. Well, and he's been sure-handed for at least all the times that they need him. Trying to see what they can do with trips out right. He's playing fake around him getting out of the pocket, and they're going to have to get rid of this ball. Yeah, that was weird. He was like, I'm going to run.
He was hitting the gritty mid-play. That's what it looked like. Yeah, they're mid-play. So either way, they're at an 8 from the 32. Big play here at this point in time. You want to at least get chunk yardage, 4th down territory for sure. Actually, a lob wide open. Oh, the back of the end zone. Flowers got it. Yes, they do. 21-18 with a big back of the end zone strike.
That is insane. Dragging the toe. They'll make it a 4-point game. Ain't no field goal here. You got to get a touchdown if you want to tie or get this one above. Wow. All right, what seemed like they were just running it out, working those flats, forcing everyone to deal with the wheels of Lamar Jackson, and then just kind of getting some good spin and speed. No, they absolutely throw a dime to the back of that end zone. Job well done. And now DV is like, okay, All right, work to be done. He's got 3 timeouts. He's got a 2-minute warning. See if he can be able to make this happen.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to make a home run strike, you do it to Zay Flowers. Nobody else. And you just watch, and whenever they burn that last defender, the speed alone was incredible, and then be able to just put it towards the back of the end zone but not pass was absolutely unreal. But Saquon, again, going to be tough to manage. But the last time the director of ed was on this field, they only got 3. In the past couple of times before that, they've gotten 0. So really, you just got to do business as usual, it feels like, from Davo. You got to watch out for Saquon, but his X factor's gone.
Yeah, completely out. He's basically become a flopping fish, so you got to burn him back up. On the other side of things, the defense has been answering in kind, and now as they try to go back to Saquon, they are stuffing the gaps he wants to go to. 2-minute warning comes up. That'll be the first of basically 4 timeouts that Justin has available to him as Davo. I mean, what was a 15-point deficit, Bear? He's able to come back from that. That's been a big come around and come back here for Davo. But 2nd and 10, or rather 3rd and 3. Oh, and they find Barkley outside the coverage.
Good find. Wow, first down. Much needed situation for director of that, who certainly is sweating at this point in time. We'll have 1:45 on the clock. Has 3 timeouts in hand. Decides not to use it. Maybe wants to track a little bit farther before they do, but they're going to get hit on this play. It will stop the clock, but it'll be 2nd and 10.
This pass rush, it's been omnipresent from both sides, but I feel like it's been so much more so from Davo. Definitely has been forcing Hurts to have to use his legs like he's been known to do. He's going to stuff that A gap. It feels, they're going to try and stretch this one a little bit wider. There's going to be an empty backfield. So Hurts has a lot of targets to have to chuck it to, but he has not a lot of time to have to deal with it. Bouncing off of one, and Brown eventually hits the ground.
It was like rubber. What was it? I'm rubber, you're glue. Something bounces off me, sticks to you. A.J. Brown just went whoop. Bounced across the middle of the field. And I thought they were going to break that last tackle too, which would have given him a first down, but instead it'll be 3rd and 3. Still no timeouts used, by the way. At a minute 14 left, it's up the middle to Barkley. First down, you imagine a timeout's coming here. Not yet. Still going to run this down. We'll be in a hurry up, but a great big first down pickup by Saquon Barkley.
That one was dangerous. He had 2 defenders right next to each other. Any given move that gets behind him, and that is a lot of green grass. Still, less than a minute to go, 3 timeouts. It's going to start becoming a lot more challenging to have to deal with this. He's going to shift everyone, tight trips right. And you have a lot of movement coming out of Smith as he has them ready to go. He knows that Saquon is going to be getting the ball. Timeout's going to be coming up, all right? 40 seconds. Do you use this clock? Do you work to try and just get this next set of downs?
This is a gentleman's agreement that they're just not going to use timeouts. 37 seconds left. Seems like you had to use one there at this point in time. And I like the fact that you're still using Barkley because you're trying to throw off the defense. But now you're under 30 seconds left on the game clock. So it'll be Hurts back for it. Tries to throw it over the middle. Got held up for a second there. Looked like it was interference. They still made the completion, though. And with 23 seconds left, that's when the first timeout comes out.
That's one of those, I'm rubber, you're glue. I'm actually an eagle, and I'm federally protected, so if you touch me, then you have to go to jail. So he just let him get the ball and then fly past him. So
that's the
using a timeout.
Yeah.
Same saying. It just rolls off the tongue. So 23 seconds. Got to start thinking about the fact that the home run swing might happen here soon. They might start stretching this wide. You have a chance, not even just wide, but long. Go up and maybe have the hash. You have trips out left, so they could send one as a streak and force a lot of defenders to have to back up. Oh man. But wait! What?
And they're going to be sacked. Loss of 19. What in the world just happened there? So not only do you have a 2nd 29, you got to burn a timeout and 18 seconds left, and you're still down by 4 on the wrong side of the field.
You naked run from out of your pocket into 2 big rushers, and there's just no way. Hurts doesn't have that speed. He has the footwork, but now he has so much field to deal with. You have one man streaking, and that's where he's going to. The defender's there. It's an interception. He's going to run it from out of the end zone, but V formation is on its way. Depending on if Hamilton turns this into 6, he might very well do so. He's going to be ripped down by Saquon Barkley, but that's game.
Davo, remember the name. Holy cow, gets away with it. And it just unforced error by the director of education, and you say, yes, please, I'll take it. and an interception all the way back into the end zone. They took their shot, and it was not to be. Not the victory formation, though. So hopefully it's just Jackson running backwards and out of bounds, which will be the case. 0 seconds. Oh, still got hit, though. Was thinking maybe fumble, but Devo will hold on and win this one by the count of 22-18.
What a comeback win. Devo is, in fact, too crazy. Stafford High School feel awesome about this one. They were down 15, brought it back, and were never going to be mentally boomed by what Justin Ellis was putting out there. But you know what? Justin had a great start. Just wasn't ready for the old student to be ready to go to handle those hands.
I mean, maybe just in shell shock from the comeback that Devo was able to put it together in the first half, and then, or at least in the second half, early stages of that second half, and then came out with a punch. And we talked about most improved in a sense of cheese, but it might be in that game specifically to Devo, who made all the right adjustments. Didn't ditch the home run ball when it seemed like it was absolutely lost cause, and then hit Flowers with an insane bomb there to take the lead and hold on as well defensively and catch Director of Ed with his pants down, quite frankly.
Yeah, honestly, look, he had tried so many separate times. There was two big plays. That one where he freed up space by having an elongated run to the outside right flats and then slung it to Aguilar, and then that Zay Flowers rip just. Toe tipped, tactically tastic. So as they get that big win, they will improve. I think they were 2-1, so they go to 3-1. DFE, I think he's done enough damage. I think he's finally like, you know what? Maybe I go and retire from off of this game.
Yeah, now students are like, oh, he is vulnerable after seeing him get absolutely destroyed by King Mode last week. Well, big thank you again to Stay Plugged In and Brightspeed, of course, for putting this together. It's always an awesome Wednesday when Players League is involved, so a big thank you to them. And you can get involved with Formula STEM Esports Cup, by the way, so make sure that you get things going at racing.staypluggedin.com. Like we mentioned in the pre-show, the first week might have come and gone as far as the regular season goes, but you can still make the playoffs by simply making a top 3 in any of the regular season weeks, and it is a 6-week regular season. So go to staypluggedin.com, or sorry, racing.staypluggedin.com is what you want. That way you can get registered for week 2, which kicks off like you see in front of you on April 8th. And Monkey Man, it's been quite a crazy one here today. Just had the featured matchup, and Director of Ed gonna fall there, but we'll get our racing fix on tomorrow, as well as a testing session with Ryan Vargas, who is formerly of the Xfinity series, so very prominent racer. There's no better person to learn tracks from and learn how to drive than some of the best.
Is that gonna be live here as well tomorrow?
Be live here. Yep, that's right. 5 p.m. Eastern time.
I cannot wait. Let's go. I want to see that. All right, that's gonna be hype. I'm such a great. Well, I wouldn't say great, but I love racing as an overall spectator sport. I'm sure that a lot of people do, and it's been super fun to be seeing so much of this happening. So that'll be really fun. Can't wait to be able to see that happen.
Yep, that'll be at Monza. So the Italian GP, if you will be coming up the next week, I believe. Yes. That's gonna be awesome. Love it. Well, listen, a new time next week for Players League. Got a lot happening, like you mentioned, happening. So it'll be a new date, actually. It'll be next Thursday at the normal time at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that being said, we will see you there for Players League. We'll see you tomorrow for the test session, and then next Tuesday as well for the for the GP rather of the Formula STEM Esports Cup. So a lot going on. Mark your calendars. Hail Monkey Man, final thoughts on the night tonight.
I love being able to see good old DFE finally get his comeuppance, and I love seeing the students succeed. And of course, we have so much that's still coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it is downhill running, full speed ahead. Bear, there's so much happening here for Players League. Of course, having a great time with yourself, and of course, shout out over to Blasky that's been putting our faces in your spaces. This has been really fun to see every single week.
100% is, and of course, we've got. Next week for Players League, we've got, check out the social media as well. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on everywhere, right? That will be the determination on when the STEM portion stream part 2 for Players League will be. Well, that's Monkey Man. My name is Bearlight, and we will see you next week. Take care.